Huh? How's everyone doing tonight? Just gonna wait a couple of seconds and let some people pop on. Seems like Facebook is a little slow tonight, so I think while I'm waiting,
Undock your comments and then redock. Yeah,
I don't know what that means.
where it says expand comments.
Hi, Evelyn. And then what do I do?
That's it.
But I can't see me. Oops. It won't let me. Okay, there it goes. Ugh. Still learning my new computer setup. Hey, Ellen. So I have a very extensive idea for tonight's video. So you'll want to bear with me. I'm looking for Tamara, hoping she pops in because Dale made this card a while on the last release, the Relax release. And when you open it up, the doors open. I tore this one so it doesn't work right now. But so the doors open up like this, and we're going to build this card tonight. So if you are interested in how to build it and the measurements, we're going to talk about all of that tonight. But we have a bit of coloring to do before we get rolling. I want to put the boy and the girl on it, so we are going to have to color them both. And since we did this one last night, we'll probably do it at a little bit faster speed, but we'll focus on the girl. And then I also want to use this right here, this picture frame piece. So we are going to use that tonight as well, so I can show you how to use the picture frame on your card, so you'll really feel like you get the full everything of it. So I haven't cleaned these off yet, so I'm cleaning them before I stamp with them so I don't have any issues. And I'm knocking all Dale's stuff off the desk, but you know, it is what it is. So I want to pull this one off. This is the picture frame. So it's open, so you can color it whatever color you want. I kind of wanted it black, so I had chosen to do it. Oh, it's just barely going to fit on this block. Woohoo! Now I don't have to get my Misty out. So I'm going to stamp this twice, 3 times if it doesn't work one of the times. But for the most part, I'm hoping it will work. So we have 1. And then we're going to do it one more time. And I'm using the wrong ink, so that's kind of a bummer. But I'll show you how I'm going to piece the pattern, I think. So maybe we'll stamp it on, I kind of want it to have a background, so I think I'm going to stamp it on pattern paper. So since this is going to be somewhat of a little bit lovey card, maybe we will use this cloud paper as the frame, because there is blues in the design. So I'm going to place this over here, and then that way we don't have to color the frame. We can have the frame whatever background we want it to be because we're stamping it on pattern paper. So I think this is really fun, and I really like this little frame. I've always wanted one, so adding it to this set was a perfect match. And I really like that. So a lot of people jumped on. So Beth and Susie and Ellen and Leslie and Evelyn. Hello, everyone. Thank you for popping in tonight. We have a really cool card design for you tonight. So I'm a little bit excited about it. So I'm just going to start off building the pieces that we're going to need. I usually cut a border when I'm cutting. I'm going to cut with my bigger scissors so it goes a little faster. I usually cut a border around it, but not tonight because this is going to be like a picture frame, so I don't really want anything but the frame itself. So I'm going to cut that. Hey, Cheryl. Yeah, this is going to be fun. I have a whole setup for you, and the papers are going to make it perfect. So, really excited to share it with you. It's going to have some movement, so it's going to be a little bit on the 3D side. So this frame works really good, but we are going to have to cut the center out of the middle, or we could place something over it in square. I could cut it, and maybe it'll work if I haven't already cut the pictures too small already, but we can look and see. So basically, I want to put this girl and this boy in the picture frames. Yep, I've already cut it too far. So what we'll do, I think my little mat is right here, which is perfect. I do have a plan tonight. It came together sort of quickly. So, I haven't tried this card before, but I'm pretty sure I have the measurements accurate. So if there's a little bit of trimming, I'm sure you guys will understand. And it is a paper craft, and we are cutting ourselves, so we aren't always perfect. Might have to trim little edges, but for the most part, I have a plan. I have a plan. And we are going to go with it. Okay, here we go. So this is our little picture frame. So cute, right? Look at that little frame. And it has clouds all around it. It's perfect. Oh, I got the little mat from Tall Mouse when I was at the expo. But I think you can get them on Amazon. You just have to buy a bunch of them at a time. Like, I don't know, 3 or 6 or something. But they come in a couple different colors. Of course, I was totally thrilled with the purple. I was worried I wouldn't be able to find them anywhere else, so I bought more than one. But I've still been using the same one for a long time, so. But just in case, I bought a second one. Just in case, because, you know, when your tools break, nothing makes you more sad, so. Okay. Now, this one, I'm going to use these colored so we don't have to color them too many times. So this one boy is going to go in this frame, and this girl is going to go in this frame. So she has a whole white background already. I could cut her out, but him, I've already trimmed him a little bit too far, so he's going to have a different colored background, which is totally fine. I have scraps I can use, a few, not many, but a few. Like we could put him on, let's see if I have a solid background, like maybe a black would be good, I think. And I think I have some in my scrap drawer. I don't have a lot of scraps, I don't usually keep them, but I do keep them some for this particular purpose. Oh, it's brown. Well, brown's okay. Brown works too. So, what I thought was we will need a small frame for this one to put his picture on so he has a background. So, I'm just going to cut this paper a little bit smaller than the frame. So, I'm going to stick my scissors underneath and just cut a little bit. Maybe about right. If I cut too far, I'll have to cut another one. Oh, good. That works. Okay. So there's our frame for the first guy. And then hers will be a white frame. So she'll fit. I'll just take this and place it over her where I want to trim. And then I'll trim her because I already know it's going to fit. Hey, Drea. I know it's really hard to cut these images, though. I feel really bad cutting her legs off, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. So just don't tell anyone I did that. Okay. So she will fit in this frame, and we will use these inside of our card. So I'm going to put just a little bit of glue around here so I can stick this on.
Main character's name in Greece.
Sandy.
Other. The guy.
Danny.
See, right, Sandy and Danny.
I could. So this is going to be a little bit like Grease for sure. Okay, so there she is in her little picture frame. Isn't that cute? I love these little picture frames. They make me happy. Just make a voting booth card and pop those legs inside. That's a great idea. Look, you just keep those legs. You never know when you might need them. You might need some extra legs. All right, so for him, I'm going to do kind of the same thing. I'm going to stick him on the card. Let's see. Maybe I'll put it behind him so I can see how far down I want to go. And then I'll just trim him as well. And now I have boys and legs for the kissing booth. Boys' legs and girls' legs. And we're going to trim him all the way down. So I'm going to use my scissors real quick and just trim him. I'll give him a little white silhouette around him. These are part of the ephemera, so you can use the ephemera and the coloring and stamps and all of it together. It could be a claw machine. It could. Just going to give him a really small white border, not a really big one. Really tiny. He doesn't need a lot. He's the focal point, so. Ha 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 ha. This whole card is going to be like that. I hope you, Drea, if you can tag our friend Tamara. This is the card she asked me to teach that we're going to make tonight. So I'd be sad if she missed it, but she's been asking for a while, and I thought, well, I better do it tonight so we can get it done and she can get her learning on. So now I'm going to place him on top of the brown. And he fits right down here towards the edge. And then I'm going to put the frame on top of him. Hey, Tamara, where you at? Where you at? Where you at? You wanted to learn this. She can always watch the replay, but I know she'd like to be here for this, so. Alright. Okay, so now we have our boy and we have our girl picture frames. So we're going to use those inside the card in just a little bit. But how cute is that? And you could even put real pictures in these. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. So I don't really need these right now. Maybe I'll save them for later. We do have to color these up. And like I said earlier, because we're going to talk about how to put this card together and what the measurements are, I'm going to color slightly faster tonight than I normally do with a little bit less descriptions. But we colored that one already, so you kind of know how that works. But I will still include all of the color combinations and such on YouTube when I upload it onto YouTube. In addition to the ephemera, we're also going to use stickers tonight. So I already chose some stickers. So these are stickers from our sticker set. And I'm going to set those aside, and then we're going to use the paper pad as well. So I'm going to try to match up some of the colors so that we don't have to take too awful many colors out at one time. So here we go. She can lift and watch. Yes. Okay, so let me get some zoom going in on this camera so you can see what I'm doing. While I'm doing that, I'm going to take a drink. And there we go. We need some skin tones, so we'll make them both the same skin tone. Or I could, well, then I'd have to cut her out. No, I'll just use that one another time. I have so much stuff stacked on top of my Copics, you guys. Seriously. Alright, moving it all around. This is the paper pad we're going to use. It's going to be so fun. You know there's some scenes in there, so that's going to make life easy. Okay, here we go. Let's grab some of the standard, typical color combinations that we usually use. So I'm going to do the same thing for both of them. I'm going to use the R11 for cheeks, and I'm going to use the E00000, E11, 21, 13, and an RV95. So I'll say them again as we're going. Hey Tamara, guess what we're making tonight? We're making the card you wanted to know how to make. So I figured it out, I think. And we're going to try and do it, but we have to color up these guys first. So we're going to start with the E000. Oh, I missed her arm. That is going to drive me crazy. So we're going to cut that real quick before we get rolling too fast. If I can find my X-Acto knife, which is now missing. I just used it. You know how this happens? It happens to everyone. So I'll just use a different one, even though this is not my favorite. It's easy to grab, so I know I really hate the way this one cuts. I bought it thinking, oh, it's nice and it's cool, but it's really hard to cut with it. So it's not my favorite, that is for sure. The other one, you saw how easy I did that one on the picture frames. So much easier and smoother than this one. So my recommendation, don't buy this one on Amazon because it's terrible. Okay, so now we'll start with the skin tone. The fancy card is coming. Excited and thank you. Yes, 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 it is coming tonight. So I'm just going to wet the skin, and again, I said I was going to do it kind of fast tonight. Not too fast, though. I want you guys to be able to see what's happening. But it's more about the building the card than the coloring tonight. So I just didn't have enough ephemera handy that I didn't have to take out of the shop. So I decided to color them with you, even though it's a little faster than we like. Crafty gremlins steal your supplies while you're using them. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Because I still don't know where that X-Acto knife went, and I literally just used it. So I'm going to do them both at the same time. Try to get us a little bit of double power going on here. And I really wanted to because I need one for the outside and the inside. This is going to be a scene on the inside and a scene on the outside. So inside, outside, Drea. Thank you for that last night. It's inside, outside today. All right, I'm going to grab the R11 and go ahead and put some cheeks on them. I'm going to do it probably twice on her cheeks so they're lighter, and I'm barely going to touch his because I don't want him to look like he's wearing makeup. But I do want her to look a little bit like she has really rosy cheeks. So we got those done. And then I'm going to use RV95 as my shadow area. So we're going to start with her. I'm going to do around her face, the inside of her ear. And then I'm going to turn her around a little bit. I'm going to do slight under the chin there, under the neck. And then I'm going to move to this arm. I'm going to put a little bit there and a little bit here. And a little bit where her hand is covering the cup. Here. And I'm going to do this whole side right here, a little bit on her shoulder. And then I'm going to do her legs. This one's overlapping the other, so we want to get a bit of shadow there since they're overlapping. And then where her foot is going into her shoe. And then for him, we did this Tuesday night, so we just kind of went around his face, inside his ear, neck, hand, and the part closest to the bottle for one side and the outside of the fingers for the other. So pretty quick on that. Now we're going to use E13. I don't know that we even need E13. I'm going to do a few color combos on my Ohuhu practice whilst I watch you color. Yay! Yeah, I decided to leave out E13. We don't really technically need it, so we're going to just go straight to E11. I mean, it'll just give them a lighter skin tone, and that's okay. I'm still good with that. I'll work that line a little bit. There we go. And then I'm going to do a teeny bit on her nose. Down the front of her shirt. She's not on the beach, so she doesn't need to have a tan necessarily. She can be like me, tan it up, and then actually burn, peel, and I'm white again. So there's no tanning going on for this girl or me. I'm just fry me like a lobster, and then I'm white again. There's no color. All my color's on the inside. Not the outside. So how are you liking your color combinations there, Susie? Looked like you were doing really good on some of the posts I saw. We're going to do his neck and his hands and this hand. Oh, and we should probably do a little bit on his nose too. Just keep him normal. Colorful nails and hair count. Good. Alright, next one is E21. I have a love-hate relationship with this color because sometimes it appears to be darker than the E11 and sometimes it appears to be lighter than the E11. So it kind of drives me a little crazy. I never know which one I want to use first. But tonight I chose to do the E11 first and then we'll do it following up with this one. I think it's just because they're right about the same shade of color, but they have a different tone to them. So it really depends on which one you want to use first. It's kind of a personal preference, and mine changes all the time. So sometimes I use one, sometimes the other. You're loving them? Yay! I'm so glad to hear that. They are so helpful. I wish that more people would really want to do those exercises in order to improve because it's just so helpful. They're not the funnest thing to do because you have to repeat them over and over and over again, but they are so good for your practicing this skill. So I highly recommend them. I think more people will see that when they come to the OLO event. Counted up 64 combos. Wow. Look at that. It says, so cool to have the whole bunch of combos to choose from without having to think. You've done all the thinking for us. I have. Yes, I have. And I matched them all up so it doesn't matter which marker you're using. You're still getting the same color combinations. Just different markers. So we're finishing up our little bit of white area here with the 00, just to kind of fill that in. Smooth it up so she has nice, smooth, beautiful skin. We'll do the same with him. Hey, Mama. It's a lot of combos for a small price. Well impressed. Oh, yay. I'm so glad you like it. It's a lot of combos. It is. And just think it was times 3 for me because I did 3 different markers. I did a lot of scratch work before I chose them so they'd all match. There we go. Skin is done. Look at us go. We are already getting there. Now, we decided, or I decided, whichever way you want to look at it, that I was going to use the pre-colored images as the pictures. So I want them to look somewhat like the pictures. Not exactly, but definitely somewhat. Like she doesn't have to be in red, but I do want her to have blonde hair and him to have black hair because it matches the pictures. And since this is supposed to be them inside the card, we need to use that. So for the hair, and I don't remember what I used on that one, but as long as I'm close, I think we're good. So I am going to use the E55, 53, 51, and then I might throw in the Y11 for a little bit of blonde highlight. And then for him, we're going to use B12 this time, and C9, 7, and 6. And then that way we'll get the hair. And then we're going to stick with his outfit. I'm going to put him in a black jacket, black pants, black boots, white shirt. So he's going to be all in that dark color. But her, I haven't decided on her dress yet, but we do want to match the background, so we'll have to choose. I think she'll be on the outside, out here, outside of the soda shop. So we need to choose blue or yellow or light blue, something like that. Something that'll offset that color really well. So, I'm so glad you appreciate him. That's so sweet. Yep, my mama's here. Okay, so I'm just making those brushstroke lines in the direction of her hair. So when I come around the front, I have to do them kind of in a curve so they sort of follow that same style. And since we don't have a lot of hair because she's kind of a smaller image, I'm not going to use a whole lot, but I definitely, on blonde hair, you need to have some of this darker in there a little bit. It's going to lighten up as we use each one of the other colors, so it'll work out really nicely. But I like her. She's so cute. She's so much fun. She does remind me of the Grease movie a lot. When they were in the shop, the soda shop, do you remember that? And they went for burgers and fries. And Danny didn't want anybody to see her, so he put the menu up so no one could see he was there with her. Sneaky guy. I bet I didn't use the 55 the first time I colored her for the picture, but that's okay. I think I'm going to skip the 51 and I'm going to go straight to the Y11 so we can get a little bit of blonde in here. So I'm just going to fill in those areas with this blonde color because I feel like it'll give her a little bit more of blonde hair, which is kind of where I was going. Her picture will be much lighter, but then that happens sometimes. Pictures don't always look exactly like we look, so as long as we're close, I think we're good. And honestly, I can color on this paper because we've done it before, so if I really wanted to, I could add to it. It's a little bit lighter on that one. I'm okay with that. So there she is with her blonde hair. And then the black hair, we're just going to add these B12 wherever we want his highlights to be. It's such a fun release. Really brings back memories of watching Grease for the first time with my best friend as a child. Yes, it does. It's so much fun. And then you can twist and see him as Elvis, an Elvis type person, so you kind of get that. You can get all the feels with this release, which I love. But yes, it has definitely made me want to watch Grease. I really liked this second one as well. I know not a lot of people did, but it's definitely one of my favorites. Oh, yes. We like the music in the second one. The Cool Rider and all that stuff is awesome. Okay, C7 is next. So I'm just following that same plan that I explained before when you do hair. Now we're doing in between all of those dark lines we put in there. And I'm coming from both sides, and I'm only going to leave like a little bit of white area for the last color because I want his hair to be a little bit darker, but I'm okay if it's not as dark as his picture because hers is lighter, so it doesn't have to match exactly. I just want it to look like it's pictures of them, you know? You've not seen the second one? Oh, I think it's on Netflix or one of those apps, and I really like it. You should try it. It's pretty good. It's a whole different type of story than the first one.
Same school.
Same school, though. It's just several years later. You still have T-Birds and Pink Ladies and all that stuff.
Isn't the boy Sandy's cousin?
Yes. Yes. Oh, there's my X-Acto knife. Someone gave it back. Yes. The boy in the second one is like Sandy's cousin who came from Australia. Yep. Okay, I'm going to get out C10 as well so we can use that for the other black and gray that's going to be on the boy. And I need the C3 1 and 0 0 so I can do his shirt, which I'm going to start with.
Frenchie's a beauty school dropout that went back to school.
Oh yeah, and Frenchie's back there, so she's in the second one as well. And then some of the teachers and the principals and the ones in the office, they're kind of still the same. But the students change, of course. You know, Rydell High, that's right. Beat the Cavaliers. C1 is the next color I'm going to use. This is kind of like we did the other night with another color.
CC said, hey, Sandy.
Hey, Cece, how are you? So I'll let you guys know before we get ready to do the card so you can write the sizes down, because I'm not going to sit here and cut all the paper. I kind of already cut it, but I will give you all the measurements and such, so you'll be able to make the card too. I'm still debating on those jeans. I kind of want to make them, maybe I don't want them to be black. Maybe I want them to be blue jeans. Just a little concerned because I think I need to clean the nib of my B99. So I have 99, 97, 95, and I'm going to go ahead and try it. I hope it doesn't make it sticky, but I had them set aside because I needed to clean them, and I'm hoping they're not going to be sticky, so we'll see. Hopefully it won't ruin it. Don't usually take them out of the bucket if I put them in there because it means they really need to be cleaned. The nib needs to be cleaned and fixed and all that stuff. But I kind of want them to have a little bit different, not be all black. Yes, I know. You're Callie when you're on the other channel with us. B97 is next, and I'm just going to, go to town on this one because I don't want to spend too much of the night coloring. I want to get to the project. I am excited to show you. And I want his jeans to stay pretty dark, so I'm only using these darker colors on it.
Susie, I was impressed with myself when I colored the blue jeans in the booklet.
Yes. They come out very nicely. And there's so many different colors. This is just a standard blue jean color. But in the book, it shows you how to do lots of other colored pants. And they're pretty cool, too. This is my quick go-to color. But I definitely have done jeans in many other colors before. I'm going to go over this one more time just to smooth that line a little bit. There we go. So that wasn't too bad. We got through that kind of fast. All right, on to the black for him. His shirt is already white, so we're good there. I'm still going to leave him with the soda. I just haven't decided what color his soda is going to be. Your little soda pop. Alright, I'm just going to do the sole of the boot all in this dark color tonight. And then I'm going to add a little bit to the back of his shoe and the sides of the shoes. And then I'm going to go to the jacket because I want the jacket to be black as well. And I'm going to put this border all as the darkest color.
Susie making no progress. This was a busy release and just been spending time with it, filling orders.
Yep. He's been really busy, so he hasn't had time to color yet. But he's going to get to it soon.
Restocking and also working on the new release.
And he is a little behind on the restocking. We're trying not to run out of certain things for you guys, so he's been working really hard. But we got to make this a T-bird jacket. We just can't make it a different color. So maybe we should put her in, well, I'd say pink, but I don't know if pink's going to match very well. I don't remember what color dress Sandy wore in the movie. You should look that up for me, Dale. What color dress was she wearing at the beginning of the movie? Dale can look it up for us and find out. This is C9. It's still going to be very dark. So I'm just going to put it in a few areas. And she's wearing pajamas when she sings Hopelessly Devoted to You. For the slumber party. Anybody remember the song the slumber party song? I know Hopelessly Devoted, but there was a commercial on TV. It's white and yellow? Okay, yellow. We'll do the dress in yellow then. You're right. It's white and yellow. There was a little beaver on TV on the commercial that was on TV when they were at the slumber party. Want to see more of your coloring, Dale. I bet you're making great progress. Oh, that's what you were reading a few minutes ago, huh? You didn't read the comments, so I didn't know. That was a comment you already read. I want his jacket to stay pretty dark, so I'm using C7 now, but it's still pretty dark. And I'm not really putting as much detail as I normally do, because I just want to get it done tonight. I don't want to keep you guys too long. We'll do the rest. Oh, we need to do his shoes in this color. So the top of his boots, and then we'll just leave a little bit for the rest of the color. That's a shame. You need to find some coloring time. But yep, important to keep all the stock levels up. The idea of you running out of items is not good. Yes, so true. The beaver said, brush up, brush up, brush. It was all about brushing your teeth. I can't remember the exact words because I made up my own words for it for my kids. When I would tell them, I would sing brush up, brush up, brush. Brush up baby's teeth. I used to sing that to my kids all the time. And I did get it from the Grease commercial, from the movie Grease. But yeah, it was a little beaver on TV, and one of the girls made fun of it and was like using her finger, like brushing her teeth. It's a funny part that I don't know that everybody thinks about or remembers, but I thought it was funny, so I guess it stuck in my head. Trey said I just placed another order to complete my Doux design, my Doux stamp collection.
Yeah, I'm filling it right now.
Dale's actually filling it right now. He saw it come in. He's fast, let me tell you. He is on it. I'm going to come back with my C9 and do the button on his pants. I like him in black and white. I think it looks really good. I'm also going to jump in and put the B95 on the inside of the buckle, since you'd be able to see the jeans through it. It's pretty small, so not a lot of people would see it. And I think we'll give him blue eyes, since we already have the blue out. I'm just going to put some of the really dark in the corners, if I can get it to come out off the marker. There we go, a little bit there. There we go. And then I'm going to go with the lightest blue, so probably the B12 that I used on his hair, and just fill in the rest. So I'm not going to do a whole lot with that, but I want them to look blue, so there we go. He has blue eyes. I'll probably give her, I gave her green eyes in here, so she needs green eyes. Okay, we have to do the drink really quick, so I'm still going to use the 25 and 23, the E numbers for that. But before I do that, I'm going to use C1 on the bottle.
You sure you're not placing orders to get the little collectible figures?
Yeah, yeah. Evelyn says she's trying to catch up to you, Drea. Okay, now we're going to put some soda in his cup, or in his bottle, right up close to the edge. I like to leave a little bit of it.
Yep, that's the reason.
Yep, because she wants to see if she can claim all the hidden surprise pandas. Because they're only, I don't have that many, so they're only going in unique packages. People who have already ordered and have the other stuff, so I really didn't even need to use B20 and E23. E25 did it just fine, so I'm just going to leave it at that. I think I'm going to do the label in red, though, because I feel like red is good offset to what he's wearing, so I'm just going to make the whole label red. I don't know what he's drinking that's all red, but that's what we're doing. So I'm getting them like Pokemon. Yes, R46 and R24 to finish the soda. Yes, you are collecting them like Pokemon. I still have a few, so there's still some available for other people. Okay, so he's pretty much done. He went along nicely. We'll set him aside, and he looks pretty good like his pictures. So I'm happy about that. And then her, oh, your friend called from California, but you're back. Okay, well, you didn't miss the card, so that's fantastico. I'm going to give her white and yellow. So we're going to use some of the colors we already have out here. So I'm going to use the C3 and the 1. So I'm going to I'm going to make her waist the gray light white, and underneath here we'll put a little bit under there, just in a couple of places. He's cool. You like him. And then C1 is where I'll do most of the other part of her dress. And I will use the colorless blender to kind of mix them out and wash them out a little bit so they're not as gray. And we'll do that in just a little bit. I want to make the cup, the glass here, I want to make that part of it as well. But I want these inserts to be darker, so I'm going to use C6 for that part. They're really tiny, so just hold your marker upright when you do that. And then C3 will be along the top. That way this looks like it's kind of like one of those metal glasses that you're having your shake in. Your shake or your malt, whichever way you want to look at that. And then C1 will be the rest of it. So I'm just going to go over it because it's all gray. And that gets our glass done. I wonder if I should just make her shoes. I should just make her shoes white as well. And we can put yellow bows on her shoes. So I'm going to make her heels the darkest. And then a little bit of shadow. Maybe the bottom side of these shoes. I usually like to make the shoes a really pretty bright color, but tonight since we're going to do a light yellow dress, we might as well have some whitish gray shoes. Okay, so time to get the colorless blender out. So I'm going to work on this a little bit to kind of wash out that gray, and here as well.
That's kind of like your version of speed coloring.
This is kind of my version of speed coloring without speeding up the video. The beach stamp I get tomorrow, I want a yellow polka dot bikini card. Yes! Don't think I didn't think about that. I almost put it on the package that way, but then I decided to see how many other people would come up with that very same thought. So I'm going to make it whipped cream in the top of her shake or vanilla ice cream, whichever way you want to look at it. So I'm going to use the 55 we used on her hair for some of the artist drawn lines. And then I'll use the 53 to kind of bring the rest of that together. I'm going to leave a little bit of it white, and we're going to use the colorless blender since I don't have the 51 out anymore, and this will blend over the white area and lighten it up a bit, and it'll be great. So there we go. Anytime you use the colorless blender, you don't want to use any marker next to it until you give it a chance to dry. Because if you do, the colorless blender will suck the color right into that area. So keep that in mind when you're coloring and using the colorless blender. I'm also going to make this little bow, the little knot in the bow at the top in that color, and the ones on the shoes. And I'm using C3 for that. You can send it to me, Beth. She'll take your polka dot bikini and you haven't even colored it yet. See, that's how it rolls around here. Okay, I think I want her dress to be light yellow, so I'm going to use Y15 for the shadows, Y13 for the medium, and Y11 for the light yellow. So I know her hair has yellow in it, but I really think we still need a yellow dress. If I'd have thought I was going to use a yellow dress, I probably would have chosen more of a beige yellow hair instead of the Y11. I would have used the E51, but I didn't think that far ahead, so it is what it is. I like to put some darkness around these curves in the dress, and then I'm going to put another one right here. And then that way we'll start getting some of that yellow in there. And I think I'll put it on these lines in her. And we'll just go ahead and do the bows on her shoes in this darkest color so we can see it. And then Y13, we're going to start adding this. This is going to be a much brighter yellow, so it's going to stand out a little more than her hair. So I'm just extending. I'm going to actually start meeting up some of those folds. And I'll do it a little bit more when I come from the bottom. Because we're only using 3 colors, we need to fill in most of it now. So we could build much bigger pleats in there, but I'm not going to do that tonight. The Y11 is going to go on her bow up here. And then we're going to finish her top with this Y11. And then we're going to go just wherever the white is with this Y11. I don't want to wash out any of my colors I already put in there. So we're just adding a little bit. And then we have a nice, pretty yellow dress. And we could make it polka dot, but she didn't have polka dot in the movie. So, yellow is what we have. Now, for lips, I think that we're going to have to use more of a skin tone for lips. So, I'm going to make this cherry R46 because that's my favorite red. and I don't want to make her lips stand out quite that much. So I'm going to use a little bit of this R56, kind of like around the edges of her lips. And leave the inside for a much lighter color. And I don't want them to be, really bright. So I'm going to try RV32 with that 56. I think it will get us a very nice shade of soft color for her lips. So that, I like that. And then her eyes, I believe I used YG17 for the top of her eyes. And then I believe I used YG03 for the rest. I believe. I don't remember exactly, but that would be my guess. Now, the only other part I know that we haven't done yet is the little thing in her ear for her earring and the straw. So I'm going to use that R46 again, and I'm just going to do every other stripe in the straw. So that one, and that one. And that way she has a striped straw and all the good things. So there you go. It's a pretty yellow dress. She's got white shoes. The ice cream looks yummy. So I'm pretty happy with that. This is what he looks like. He is pretty cool himself. We'll add the white gel pen at the end and go from there. But let's talk about the card, because now I'm excited. It's time to work on the card. So we have two characters here, and we have their photos, you know, because Sandy and Danny were together in the summer, so they took pictures. Oh, anyway, there's a whole story. Okay, so in our paper, we have these amazing scenes. So here is the front of the Malt Shop. And here is the inside of the Malt Shop. So we are going to do the outside of the card in that one and the inside in this one. So it's going to be like going into the shop. The doors will open. You will see the inside of the shop. So it's pretty cool how it's going to play out. I've decided to use tan for my card base. And the key to this whole shenanigan we have going on is making the side devices in order to make the card open up. So we're going to do that last. I'm going to give you the measurements for everything you need before you get to that part. So the front of the card, it's an A2 size card, so I just cut the front a quarter of an inch smaller than the card on the sides. I kind of left the top and bottom like really small. Wait, hold on. I have my card backwards. There we go. So we have this for the outside. This is going to be the outside of our card. Then when you open it up, this size that goes right here in the center needs to be 4.5 by 4 1/8. So 4.5 would be up and down because it goes from edge to edge. And then 4 1/8 is on the sides because we need a space here for our opening device. Okay? So this one is 4.5 by 4 1/8. 4.5 goes up and down, and 4 1/8 goes side to side. Okay, and the next thing we need is we need two panels like this, two small panels like this that are 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. So 3 3/4 tall by 2 1/4 wide, and you need two of them for your door pieces. So next you're going to need 4 more sheets, and you're going to need them in pattern paper. So 2 of them are going to show when the doors are closed. So I chose what it looks like on the outside of the card. So what's the opposite side of this? Because I set them up to match. So you'll open it up and it will match what the front panel looks like. And then when the doors open and you flip them over, they'll open up wide. Then the inside, I need them to match the soda shop. So you'll see this one on the inside and those 2 on the outside so that they all coordinate together. But if you don't mind which one's which, you need 4 that are 3.5 by 2 1/8. So you need 4 of those. 3.5 by 2 1/8. 4 of them. And those are the pieces you need to build this card except for the mechanism, which we are going to go over now. It's a little tricky, so you'll want to get ready, pay attention, be ready for me to show you. So I'm giving you all time to like look and see. Get your stuff ready so you can watch. I had a sample here that I was going to show you, but I don't have it now, so I'm going to have to cut it again because I can't find it because the gremlins came and took it off my desk already again. Okay, what you need is you need whatever color you want your mechanism to be. Oh, I should probably cut mine in that brown, huh? So I'll just make 2 more. Okay, I need it to measure 4 3/4. So I'm going to measure this to 4 3/4. Oh, it's already folded there. Dang it. I can do it this way. No, this way. 4 3/4. Okay. I already have a score line on this paper and I don't want to mess it up. So this is 4 3/4 this way. You're going to need it to be 1 inch wide. So you need 2 of these. 1 inch and 1 inch. So 1 inch by 4 3/4. So you need 2 of these. 1 by 4 3/4. Okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to take our ruler and we're going to measure 1 inch from the top. Okay? Let me zoom in just a little bit more so you can see. I'm going to measure 1 inch from the top of my paper. And I'm going to put a pencil mark there if the gremlins didn't take my pencil. I'm just going to put a little line there. And I'm going to do it on both of them. 1 inch from the top. And put a little line there. And then I'm going to use my desk to line up my paper so my line is straight. I also have this tea thing here from Pear Blossom Press. I'm going to stick my paper in there and I'm going to draw my line. Oops. If I hold my paper still. And I'm going to draw my line across. And that's what I need. 1 inch from the top, a little pencil line. If you're following me on this and it doesn't seem complicated, you're already halfway there. We're almost done. And then I'm going to draw my line on this one because they're both going to look the same. So I have 2 pieces of paper that are 4 3/4 long by 1 inch. Came from the top down 1 inch. And then this is when the little bit of complicated gets. It's not too bad. You're going to put a score line halfway down the center on both of them. Okay? So that's a simple score line all the way down. So I'm about to do that so you guys can see it. That's step 1. Just a score line right halfway down the middle. both of them. There we go. So now we have our 2 panels with the score line down the center. Then the trick is you also need score lines that go from this corner to the pencil line that you put, and then from this corner to this pencil line. So you need that X on both of them. So what I did was I put my paper here, and then I lined up my little edge of my card, and I just did it like that. And then I turned it, and I did the same thing on the other side, and I just did my little score line there. So I now have an X. Can you see that? I have an X with a line going right down the center. So I have an X here and a center line. We're going to do that on both of them, so I'm going to do that on this one as well. It's this little X is the mechanism that's going to make this work. That is all the scoring you have to do. That's the easy part. That's it. I mean, that was the hard part. If that wasn't hard, then you're good. Okay, so now we have 2 with this little box at the top that's 1 inch by 1 inch with an X in the middle and a line up the center. Here's where we're going to cut a small piece off, and they are not going to be cut the same. You have to do one for one side and then the other for the other side. So on this little design right here, you're going to go down this center line right here and down this angle. You're going to cut this whole piece out. You're going to leave the rest. So you're going to cut here. Then on the other side, you're going to do similarly. You're going to go down the center line and down this side. So opposite side of this one. You're going to cut this piece out. So you're going to cut the right side on one and the left side on the other. So I'm going to do that. Pretty easy. Just cutting right on the score lines. So I have one there. And then I'm going to cut this one right here. And I'll upload this video to YouTube, so if you need to look at it again and again, you can. Now we're going to fold this right down the center. And I'm going to burnish it with my tool. Whoops. Don't do that. Don't fold yours. Like, don't wrinkle it. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'm not the perfect scorer, so mine one side's slightly longer than the other by like a hairline. I'm okay with that. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a hairline. You probably won't see it anyway. And now we're going to take this design right here. We're going to fold it over just like this. So we took that half X and we folded on the other score line. So we kind of left this little arrow right here. We folded this down. Then we're going to take this arrow and we're going to fold it down. Let me score that. Let me burnish that so you can see it. Okay. So yours is going to fold like this and then like this. Almost like making an arrow, but you don't want to tuck it behind. You want to tuck it inside like that for now, just so you can see. So when you open it up, it looks like this. It kind of curves in both places. So you see that? We're going to do the same thing to the other side. So folding this down. I'm going to burnish it. Then we're going to open it up and we're going to fold this one down. And we're going to burnish that. Now we have one that goes to the left and one that goes to the right. These are the pieces you need. One to the right, one to the left.
And it's handy to go ahead and just, in pencil, just write L or NR. I don't know how many times when I was making this, I got them confused.
So this one that folds to the right, okay, it's going to go on the right hand side. I'm going to attach it to the top and the bottom, smooth and flush. So I'm going to glue that first. Just half. This side is all I care about right now. Just this piece, lining up the edge to the edge of the paper. I'm going to use my press tool to get that on there. And now I have this piece that lifts up and this piece that comes down. Okay, I want to do the same thing to the other side, so I'm going to attach the side that's cut on the corner. I'm going to line that up and glue it to this side. So just this half piece right here. Everybody following me so far? If you guys are visualizers, you can probably already see how this is working just by watching this. But if you're hands-on, you just got to put it together once to do it. Oh, my stomach just growled like I was starving to death. And I'm not. I know, we had such a good dinner. Okay, so now this one, each one folds away. So it's kind of like following so far. Yay! Okay. When I lay this over, this piece right here I want to fold down. See how it leaves? I know that's hard to see on camera. But instead of leaving this straight up, we're going to tuck it under. And this is the part we're going to glue. Just that little piece that's tucked under. And we're going to do it on both sides. So mine, I guess my line is off just a little so it sticks outside the card. So just make sure it doesn't stick outside the card. Oh no, it doesn't. It's good. Okay, so I'm going to open this up, fold these down, and I'm going to put my glue on this little back piece right here on both sides. So I can close this all at one time. Close these over, make sure everything lines up with the edge of the card. And then I'm going to press them down. So we're going to leave this open right now, but if you want to see it work, you just lift the top and it folds down. Okay, so we know our mechanism is working. We have the mechanism part. Now we have to build the doors. How we doing? How we doing? We doing good? Everybody doing good? Keeping up? Feeling good?
Camera's good.
Tamara's good. That is
Susie's
good. Okay, Tamara and Susie are good. Okay, while this is open and flat, I'm going to take these two tan pieces that we cut earlier. Remember, they were 3 3/4 by 2 1/4. We need to take those two pieces, and we are going to attach them from the bottom of the card up to that mechanism piece. And you might want to open your card to make sure it's like not further than it shouldn't be further than your little angle there. It should work out just fine. So I'm going to put just a little bit down the side of this. Don't worry, we'll have some reinforcement on this in a minute. So I'm going to place this all the way down to the edge of that fold. We can test it while it's wet. See how it's working? It's closing up. It's opening up. Open, close. So it's starting to work. Then we're going to do this one on the other side. Same thing, but on the other side. right here on this side. Don't go past the fold. Make sure you stay on the other side of the fold so it doesn't have a problem closing. While it's wet, I'm going to make sure that it closes. It does. Once I burnish it and work with it, it'll be fine. So now, these are the pieces, these are the sides that you're going to see when you see the inside of the card. So I'm going to grab the 4.5 by 4 1/8 piece of paper that I cut, and it should fit right in between here. I'm off by a hair, so I'm going to just slightly trim that edge like a teeny tiny little piece. Not by much, just a little hair. So little bitty sliver like this. You can barely see it. It's just a sliver. And then I'm going to place it, and it's going to fit right in there perfectly. See how amazingly perfectly that fits in there? Yay! I'm grateful for YouTube so I can make sure I did it right. Yes, for sure. I know what you mean. Me too. I like the rewind, stop, rewind, stop. Okay, here we go. This piece is going to go inside here. If you want, you can leave a slight slim at the bottom, but I think I'm going to leave mine at the top so that the bottom meets with the bottom of the card. And I'm going to place that in there. Tiny sliver. I'm loving this. Totally going to try this. Yay! Okay, now my inside panels, I wanted them to look like the Malt Shop. And I could have done them with the Malt Shop, the rest of the paper, but I just thought it would be fun to do them with this, with the back side of the panels. So we are going to attach these two panels inside our card like that. I think I'm going to do it this way. So see, we could do that, but it doesn't match up quite right. So I'm going to add some glue on this one. And then I'm going to place this. This is why I didn't mind writing the measurements on the paper, because I knew I was going to put this over top of it. And this one. You can tell I used a different piece of paper because the jukebox is on this one and on that one. Okay, we're going to place this one right here. Love that Barely Art glue gives me a little bit of time to wiggle. A little bit of wiggle room. Now I'm going to fold these over. Make sure you don't force your card open. It's going to close just a little bit because you've already added the mechanism. And then we're going to take the other two papers and we're going to attach them over top of where this seam is. So this is going to hide that seam and also build our door. Okay, so you're going to do that on both sides over the seam to hide it. So you won't be able to see it quite as well because the front cover closes a little bit when I do it. So it's hard to see on video. But you know what I mean. I know you guys are following me. You're crafters. You can follow me on this. So when you put that on there, I'm going to show you what it looks like. You will have a small piece right here that doesn't have anything on it. You're just putting it over that one side of the flap.
And you can easily make decoration pieces to fill in those areas.
Yes, you can. You can cut extra pieces to fill in that. It's a 1/2 inch, so cut them at an 1/8 inch. But to me, that's so tiny. It's just, I'm not even sure I feel it's worth it. Line up your papers so they match with each side. So like I'm just lining them up so they match all the way across. That's just a fine tune. This is where I'm going to put my photographs. So I'm going to put the boy on this side and the girl on this side. These are going to be my little photograph pieces, so you'll have some design when you open the card. As long as I stay within the fold line and the edge of the paper, I'm golden. So I'm going to add these.
If you had some ephemera, putting a record over
Yes.
over and over would look nice.
Yep. So I have her on there. And then I'm going to take him. And it's almost like, oh, yay, look, it's a celebration. No fussy cutting. Yes, you need the glue. You can buy it in the shop next time you place an order. We sell the Barely Art glue in the small bottle and the refill bottle. So look at that. When you first open it up, you get to see the pictures of them. And then when you open it all the way, you get to see the whole thing coming together. So I'm going to close my card and I'm going to burnish it real good. So make sure it'll close the way it's supposed to. I'm going to flip it over and do it on the other side. Kind of just making sure all those folds get put where they're supposed to be. Now I'm going to put my front cover on there, and I have chosen the outside of the Malt Shop because I felt like that just went together nicely. So I'm going to put that on the front, and this is just a 1/4 of an inch smaller than your A2 card.
See, Tamara, I make them and then she perfects it.
It's a good teamwork for sure. There's the Malt Shop. I mean, how cool is that? I want her on this side because it's the soda shop. So she's coming to the soda shop where we can put him. I like her. I'm putting her on that side. So she's not in this, she's outside the soda shop with her little drink, waiting to see if Danny will come out and talk to her. And then we open it up all the way, and we're going to put him inside the soda shop. He's having his soda. He better drink it fast before she leaves. She said he's got to be near the car. I'm going to lift this card. It's so adorable. Yes, and I thought that putting him near the car was the typical thought and response that most people would do, and I wanted to make it a little bit different. So I chose to not put him on the outside, but to put her. I kind of don't like how I want him on the floor, not standing on the chair. So I decided to go a little bit rogue with that for sure. And then we can put sentiments in here. We can put sentiments under their names or on the front or whatever we want. But I have these. I like the You're a Cherry on top, so I thought about putting that on the outside. Well, let me just make sure. Yeah, I think I want it to be on the outside. So this is one of our stickers. I had to cut mine out, even though you guys don't have to, because Dale cuts yours for you, but he didn't cut mine. That's what happens when you get the prototype. But it says, "You're the cherry on top." And then you open it all the way up. And I was going to say, "Celebrate with the shake." Can be his birthday party. She is waiting on him to finish. That is right. And then they're going to come out and get in that nice, cool, awesome car and go for a ride.
She had to go outside because she's lactose intolerant.
Ta-da! And that is how you build the card that Dale made on, ta-da! Open, close.
So it gives you a lot of real estate to add different elements.
It does.
If she had the ephemera pack, she could have put the records on there, the ice cream cone, cherry, other stuff. And then you got the top where
You
you
got
some real
up
estate.
here, yep. You could put sentiments or a little whiteboard for your notes for whoever you wanted. But I love that when you open it, you get a little snapshot of what's going on with the little photographs. And then all the way, you get to see him inside. And I love that these papers work. Like, this is the outside of the shop. This is the inside of the shop. It's so cool. I love the way you can just make all of this stuff pop. And other than the card design, it really comes together fairly easily due to the paper, I think.
Yeah,
So,
and the top panel, if you want, you could just do your white card so you can write your note and sign it.
yep, that's true. Inside out, outside in, inside out. Look at that. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I hope you liked it. I will put it on YouTube. I will put the colors that I used, the combinations that I used, and links to everything. So I am so excited we got to do that on Thursday. I will be back on Tuesday for a new something. And oh, and we forgot the white gel pen. We forgot that, you know what, we have to do it because I can't not do it. We have to do it. Let's do the white gel pen real quick. So he needs his little eyes fixed on his little white gel pen in his eyes. Needs a little bit of bubbles on his soda. And a little bit on his shoes, just to say. His shoes are all that, and a bag of
we have our
chips.
paper pads and the and the two different themes. I mean, this will be cool where you can have like a beach scene, and then you open it up and you have the tiki.
I'm going to make her a pearl earring.
Go into the tiki bar, and on the back of the tiki bar is the tiki and drinks pattern paper. You could easily cut out the drinks and the tiki mask to use as your panel decorations.
Yep. And there we go. Now we have our white gel pen on there. I hate when I forget my white gel pen. And then after the show, I go, oh, I forgot to add that. Hold on. Let me see if I can zoom that in. Focus that in a little bit. There we go. So there's the cherry on top. There's the whole place. And then you open it up all the way. And you have him with his soda. And there you go.
She'll ask, do you have a pattern for the card?
I do not. I just made it up.
I mean, we made up the dimensions, but there's a lady on YouTube who has a channel who does all these different.
Yeah, but she doesn't give you the measurements. So
No.
you got to figure it out yourself.
Well, it's in it's in line for Cheryl because it's in centimeter. It's in metric.
Oh, but still, they didn't give us the measurements, even in
No.
metric.
Ours is a variation of her design.
Yeah, so we see them and then we figure them out on our own, and then we show you guys because that's just the way we roll. But thank you so much. If you guys want to hang out with me some more, I'll probably be over at Crafty Ho Ho on YouTube in just a little bit after I post this video for you guys. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you'll try this. Please share in the group if you do. And if you watch the replay, be sure that you're subscribed and that you like and comment. It helps the channel, and we want to start growing that channel so we can do more on it. So thank you so much. I will see you guys in just a little bit. Good night. And Drea put the link for you guys on the YouTube channel, so that's where you can find us. Love you guys. Good night. Good night. Good night. Good night.